In this video course, we're going to talk about how to manage courses in the Echo Learning Management System. So what you want to do is be logged in as a teacher, and up here you have your login name, and then you're going to have this icon here that has two boxes, and it looks like one of those boxes has some writing on it. You're going to want to click on it, and you're going to have two options here. For this video to start off with, you want to worry about creating a course. So this option here you want to click on. Now, in this option, you have this box with a lot of ways to type and put information into. So let's make sure first we understand what each of these options are before we start putting information in. Your first option is to create new. You have another option here called copy from your domain. And your domain is basically your school. As a reminder, New Tech Network is a network of schools, and each school has their own domain. So a domain is basically the same as your school. So if you have a course in your school, such as one you've made in the past, or if you're new, you don't really have one yet, but there might be another teacher who has a course that you can copy, this is how you can copy it. In order to copy it over, you're going to need to know that course's name or that course's ID. If you don't know the course's name or the ID, you can always ask an Echo administrator or principal to help you find that name, and then you can put the name in here and select that course. Another way is to copy a shared course, and again, that is through the network as well. What we really want to focus on in this video, though, is creating a new one. Before we go any further, I do want to share with you there is a certain structure to creating your courses. You want to create a master course, a course that controls them all, and then after this you're going to create courses that go underneath that main master parent course, and each of those courses you're going to use with an individual period. So to give you sort of a look-see at what this is, here is my personal teacher home screen, and I have right now two classes that I teach. I teach AP Environmental Science, and I teach a general environmental science class. At the very top here you'll see AP Environmental Science Parent Course 2017, and right next to it you'll have Environmental Science Parent 2017. If you look underneath them, you have these smaller cards that are almost titled the same. In this case, for AP Environmental Science, I have no other periods except one, so I didn't even give it a period name. But this is the official course that my students are going to be enrolled in. And then over here under the General Environmental Science class, the rest of my day is this class. And so I've got one here for Period 2, one here for Period 4, one here for Period 6, and then my last general course is Period 7. And in each of these courses, I will enroll the specific students that go in that course. I don't enroll students in the parent master course. The nomenclature for the names of these is master. I prefer parent because that's more of a computer science term. And then these underneath here are child, but they're used interchangeably. New Tech prefers the phrase master and derivative, so I'm going to use those from now on. This is my master course. There's no students in here, but the point of the master course is I can build my course, put my activities in here, and whatever is done in this course flows down to all my other courses. So if I make one activity in here, it automatically puts itself into Period 2 and Period 4 and Period 6 and Period 7. So I don't have to make it 5 times, I just make it once and it goes through. It also gives me the chance to customize based on a period. So if I want to give a Period 2 something and not give it to Period 4, I can just make it right in here. So it gives you flexibility. But in order to have this flexibility to start off with, you need to create a master course, and then you filter everything down from there. So with that being said, what we're going to start off with is creating a master course. So I'm going to make a general course, give it a nice generic name, and then you want to use parentheses or brackets or whatever, just something in a parenthetical statement, call it master course. And the general wisdom is to give it a year that it's made. So if it's going to be this school year, you can do 2017, 2018. Because in the future years, you're going to want to be able to, as you create more and more courses, you're going to want to be able to tell them apart, and giving them the school year and whether or not it's a master course is the most efficient and best way to really do that. Once that's done, it's also best practice to give your course a term. So as of this video's making, it is the 2017-2018 school year, so I'm going to use that term. And this is so that as you, again, create and copy your courses in further school years, you can tell them apart from each other. Your role, you want to make it teacher owner. and this is very important. If you leave it as owner, you're not going to have some access to some things. You want it to be teacher owner. You want to have all the power you can get. So change your role to teacher owner. And this last part here, start date versus end date, general practice is to give it either the beginning of the school year, if it starts at the beginning of the school year. In this case, we started on this day. And you want to, if your semester course, you want to check your school calendar and see where the semester ends. I know it ends right about here. Oh, and something to be tricky here. It assumes a year out, so be careful to watch the year. So I got to go back a little bit here to there we go. Or if it's the end of the school year, then go ahead to the last day of the school year. There's this other option here called continuous, and nearly every teacher who watches this video, you should ignore this option. But I want you to be aware of it just in case you have a bright idea. This might be a tool that you want. Continuous basically lets your course run without ever ending. So if you're trying to do an after-school club, or if you're a counselor, this is probably the most useful for counselors, where you just want to put information out there. It's not necessarily a class. By scheduling this, your class will turn itself off to the student view June 8th, 2018. That means the students will stop seeing it in their Echo homepage. If you make it continuous, it will continue to show itself in the student's homepage past that end date. So this is advantageous if you are a counselor and you have scholarship information, or you have some other kind of information, or if you're a principal, or if you're doing an after-school program, you're a teacher and you want them to have something available, that's useful as well. But I would say 99% of the time, don't need that checked. So now the course is made, let's go ahead and click Create. And now, there it is. Now if you'll notice, this looks different than the view that I showed you over here. So I've got this card here. That's because this is a whole other course that's attached to this course. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Right now, this is just treating it as its own course that I can enroll people. You'll notice these icons down here are here. They don't match what's over here. All I have here is a pencil and a gear. Here I've got lots of other options. Here's how you can change that up. So you're going to go back to Manage Courses. You're going to click on Create a Course. You're now back to the Create Course page. Here's where things are getting a little different. You have the Create New. What you actually want to do now is copy from your domain. You already have a course set up. It's called your general course. So you're going to look for the name of your course. Alright, so here it is, General Course, Master Course 2017. And this funny number here is actually, every course gets assigned its own serial number. Life is fine without knowing that serial number, but things can work a lot faster and more efficiently if you know that number. But here it is. And now I have this box that pops up. This box is incredibly important. It's very important you have the correct option selected. By default, because most people are going to want this option, and this is probably going to be you, you want to keep this on Updates, Derivative Child Copy. What this basically means is you're going to create this course and it's going to be connected to your general course. So anything that you do in this master course that you created will filter itself down to this copy that you're about to make. So how can you tell the difference? You're going to be changing the name down here. Before I start doing that, I do want to tell you about the other option, the static copy. This is to make a new copy of the course that won't receive updates. It will not be linked to the original course. So if you want to make a separate standalone copy of last year's course, you can do that. That's why that option is there. So we're down here with our title, and we're going to change the name of this from Master Course because we don't need two Master Courses. What we're doing here is creating our first actual period course. So let's say I have this general course, first period of the day. So I'm going to name it Period 1. You can name it whatever you want, but if you're trying to go by periods, this is probably the best way to go about it. It should already pre-fill your term in, but if it doesn't, make sure your term is there. And it should pre-fill your role. Again, if it's not, make sure it's teacher owner. And it usually won't copy over your start and end date, so be careful with this. Make sure you put in the correct start and end date. Okay, And remember that little trick there with 2019? I almost did it again. All right. And you will click Create. It will update your page, and you should see it right there. General Course, Period 1. General Course, Master Course. All right. So that's how you add periods. And whenever you want to create activities in your course, you have two options. I will tell you the most often option you're going to do is to click on the Master Course little pencil here, and that will take you to the editor for the entire courses, all the periods underneath it. But if you want something specific for one specific derivative course, let's just say I want to do a period 1 and none of the other periods, you want to click on that pencil and you'll make edits in just that course. But keep in mind, whatever you do in this course will not go to any other periods you have. So if there's a period 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever I do in period 1 will not go to period 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you wanted to go to those other periods, you need to do it in this master course. Seems a little extra, however, it does help with some flexibility. If you want this option to only edit in one course, this is the way it has to be structured. All right. If you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to email me with any kind of questions you have.